What do you think boundaries do when it comes to setting more trust and more, say, respect between you and, let's say, you and your partner, for example? What do having boundaries do for you in that relationship when it comes to cultivating more respect?
How do you mean that? How do you mean by that?
When you think about having boundaries, what do you think it is about having boundaries that allows you to establish more trust and respect in your relationship? Let's say your romantic relationship. What do you think having boundaries does?
I guess that's what it does. It just creates more respect and more respect for each other.
Yeah.
As an example, if my partner wouldn't, what she doesn't like. Again, I guess every girlfriend or every boyfriend wouldn't like your partner going flirting intentionally with other girls or other guys, right?
Yeah.
So I guess setting boundary that I don't like this and don't do it because
It upsets me. Yeah.
it upsets me and I feel like an idiot. Like you making me look like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
While you're doing this, because I feel like that's how you set boundaries. And I'm not trying to be insecure, but it's just you simply don't respect me if you're doing that. And I guess boundaries are very different for each and individual person. Like maybe some couples like when other half going and talking with other people, but other girls,
Yeah.
guys, but
Because I think it allows you to create more safety, right?
yeah, exactly.
And I think the more safety that you create in any relationship that you have by having boundaries, it allows you to be able to trust yourself more. And I think the more that you trust yourself, you're able to build further connections. It provides a guide when navigating a bit of an emotional roller coaster, which is what any relationship is. It's like, humans are extremely emotional that have lots of different character traits and everything else. And when you're trying to navigate any kind of friendship or relationship, it's what clear boundary does it that I have that I need in order to set to make this work for me. And I think that will always create more safety between understanding what values and priorities that you need met when fostering more understanding for each other.
Yeah.
And that was one that I learned from doing like therapy and talking to Charlie more. Actually, like Charlie really taught me that, because if I think about our relationship in business, we had to like establish so many different boundaries, especially being brothers in a family business. Because where we removed the sense before, when we didn't have boundaries, we kind of removed the filters. So we had no respect for one another in business or at work because he was my brother. And
really?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always had respect for him as a brother, of course I did, and as a family member. But when it came to like business decisions and trying to navigate a work environment, I was like, I can talk to you like that because you're my brother. But, you know, we're not.
This is crazy.
Yeah, we're not colleagues. Whereas we had to create all these boundaries as when we're at work, and we identify ourselves as colleagues, as
exactly.
we do. And then when we're family, and we can kind of have a bit more fun and stuff. But that's something that really taught me about understanding boundaries as fundamental to have in a relationship going forward, because I think it creates a lot more safety for you to be able to really trust someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a really good thing to have.
Interesting. As I was doing the research on this topic, I found every time we come up with a topic, and as I'm doing the research, I usually go away from the topic and I start to research different things. I mean, related to that topic, but just from looking from the topic from different angles. And one of the topics that came up was being empathetic will help you to battle your own demons. And
Nice.
I think it's a very, very good point, because when I was in a retreat, it's probably 3 years ago, That's meditation retreat for 10 days. And the instructor said that people who are bitter and angry and negative, it's like they carry a knife that is stuck in their heart, and they walking around with that knife, and because it's so bad for them, they're trying to stab other people. And it clicked with me, because usually the people that are very negative, bitter, something happened to them. They're not naturally that. It's just, again, life experiences, circumstances, the different reasons why they become these people. And I think showing a little bit of kindness to, you know, that you are fucked in a way, that you're very negative, you're bitter, you're angry, but showing a little bit of kindness to other people, to yourself, gonna help you to kind of get that knife out and start to heal that wound. And while you're showing that kindness, that wound gets healed more and more. That's the way I look at it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting observation. I think when it comes to showing extended empathy for yourself, or for other people, it's kind of more putting yourself in their position, in their shoes, right?
Yeah, understanding the struggles, and having having some empathy for yourself as well at the same time.
Because that's a really hard one. I think people don't have, is better empathy for themselves, and actually giving themselves a bit more credit where credit's due. We're so quick to judge ourselves, and I think that sometimes allows you not to be so kind.
Yeah, because I think at the beginning of our episode, I mentioned that a lot of people are kind to each other but struggle to be kind to ourselves, and that was drawn from my own experiences. I think I was, as you mentioned, people pleasing and trying to be good to other people, but when it came to myself, I was kind of brushing this under the rug and wasn't that kind to myself. And therapy as well helped me to definitely become a lot kinder to myself and talk to myself in a friendly manner. I'm not an enemy to myself anymore. I'm more like a friend, and more like a friend.
Yeah, it's like knowing yourself on a level and being okay with that.
Yeah.
And giving yourself the opportunity to be okay to fluctuate. Like, you're not supposed to be this amazing, continuous person all the time. Like, you're not going to be nice all the time. Like, there are times where I don't want to know anyone or speak to anyone. Like, sometimes I can come across as a dick, but I mean, it's checking that ego.
Yeah.
Obviously not doing it intentionally, but I feel we all have periods or moments, and we all have our times where we can kind of be short. Maybe it's like you're hungry or you're not feeling you, and that's okay too. I always used to feel that I should never be a dick. I should always be the kindest, nicest person. And I think there can be times where you can be too nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just cure more kindness with more kindness. It's like you say, it's understanding yourself and knowing your boundaries and knowing your self-worth, and not doing it from a place of, because I think you can become resentful if you're too kind all the time. Like, it, in a way.
I definitely agree. In that book that you're reading right now, No Mr. Nice Guy, is, I guess a lot of people are confusing those two, kind and being too nice.
Yeah.
Just nice in general. You can be kind, but you can have boundaries. And if you're just being nice, that what other people asking you, you just do it. It's not really nice or kind. You're just pleasing people. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's not that attractive as well, because if people are going to ask you and push you around, it's just what self-worth you have it anymore.
No, I totally agree. And I feel that that's where I was getting caught up, especially, I think, was I felt like I had to be like the most optimal human to others in order to seek validation. And that was always a big one, was being nice for external validation, when actually it comes from having validation for you and knowing you on a level where I don't need anyone's approval in order to know that I'm nice. I know that I am.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't need to do anything that's going to try and allow me to feel praise from someone. I think that was also a really important factor, especially from what I understand from that book.
Yeah.
What I'm understanding while reading it
Yeah.
is being okay and comfortable within your own skin.